Okay, this is first implementation of callExtension. Right now, it's really heavily based on the M4 script hook that was laid out previously. What we have here is I've updated the offsets in the script hook for the latest version of DayZ. I've begun working on pattern recognition, and then I've created this enforce hook to add my callExtension in, and this is how it's currently operating. It's running off of the DayZ extension export. So this is me working on some tests. So we got not okay from both of them. That's okay. So here's what we have. In HideHUD, callExtension with the example extension with the function test and no argument. And then we get the result and we print it. And then we do a bad test. So in here, if we get the function test, it should say okay. They're both saying not okay. So we're having an issue here with our function. But that's okay, because we can debug that. But you can see the premise works from extension, not okay. The only way it would get that is if it was coming from this exported function. So there isn't much more to show. This is the general basis that we're gonna grab a hold of the game. We're going to use something similar to what this XInput system has to hook in to specific functions and register. The requirements currently, and there will be a few, what we need to do, we have our XInput, this does our hooking, and then this is our actual callExtension. That's probably going to be phased all into one library. We have our example extension in here, right there. And then one other change, DTA scripts. This is going to need re-signed because our extensions all go in system. So in end system, we have callExtension. It really wasn't that difficult to add this extension, right? This is a very neat, clean API. Finding the offsets for the functions wasn't too hard. Finding the signatures, not too hard. So I'd expect it to be pretty smooth from here on out. With this, the client can't load BattlEye because the libraries would be rejected. So we need a patch on the server, which I'm going to have outlined on our GitLab on how that patch actually takes place, along with the memory that gets changed. That will likely require a launching operation, something that actually starts your server, a second executable. And that second executable will probably handle what XInput is currently handling on the client. Whether or not I decide, okay, we'll just do a second launcher for the client, or we'll just throw all of this into the XInput system, I don't know yet. But the premise is there. Right now, I do have to debug a few of these things, figure out what's going on. But this is how I plan the extensions to operate, right? I really want them to eventually be as complex as in ARMA, right? So right now we're not too worried about, things like output size, stuff like that yet. But we'll get there. It still runs on STD call. Instead of doing RV extension, DayZ extension, just to differentiate it. So you couldn't just straight up grab an ARMA library and bring it to DayZ yet. The goal eventually is that we will be able to use RV extension args, and you'll be able to take something from ARMA 3, plock it into DayZ, and you're done. All you do is write up a little bit of code to make it operate. So we'll get there.